Joining us now for an update on the story out of Makaha is our chief investigative reporter, Lynn Kawano. Lynn, we understand there's been some recent developments. What can you tell us?
Dylan, last year in July, we reported that a review board was recommending that 3 out of the 4 officers be fired. The 4 officers are charged and face criminal prosecution. Their trial is scheduled for later this year. But in the meantime, 3 of the 4 had been on desk duty for years. We're talking about 2 years on desk duty. The review board recommended firing to Chief Joe Logan back in July. And in recent months, Joe Logan has decided to accept that recommendation and go ahead and fire the officers. So earlier this month, they were terminated. Now, they are still appealing this decision, so it could still be a while before those things are resolved. But in the meantime, they have now been fired. They're no longer on desk duty.
For some viewers who may not remember this story, can you give us a brief recap of what spawned this investigation?
In September of 2021, officers Joshua Nahulu, Eric Smith, and Jake Bartolome are accused of chasing a white sedan. That white sedan then ended up crashing in Makaha. Multiple people, half a dozen people, were seriously and critically injured. Some teenagers lost an eye. One teenager lost an eye. Another teenager was paralyzed after the accident. Now, that teenager has since been able to walk, but it's going to need a lifetime of care. In the meantime, we had 3 civil lawsuits filed in connection with this. 2 of those 3 have already settled multi-million-dollar lawsuits. You know, it's costing taxpayers a lot of money. The accusations are that these officers improperly chased them. We had surveillance video of this. They were chasing this white sedan without lights and sirens on. And it appears that they really didn't have probable cause to chase these people in the white sedan. Of course, the jury's going to decide all of that. But the civil cases have already cost taxpayers millions of dollars.
And why has it taken so long for them to only be fired now?
That is a big question that many have been asking. Even the police commission asked why the internal review took so long. The administrative review took more than a year, and everybody was wondering what was taking so long. Really, the police department said it has to do with a lot of witnesses. You have to interview witnesses. You have to go back and review surveillance videos. You have to go back and review body camera videos. So apparently this took a long time for the internal investigation to wrap up. After that happens, then the review board gets to decide, should they be reprimanded with a written reprimand? Should they be suspended? Should they be fired? That process takes a long time. And then the chief has to decide what he's going to do with these officers. It's a long process. It shouldn't be that long. I think that a lot of people can agree with that it took way too long. This is September of 2021. We're now in 2024. So it did take way too long. It's a common complaint, even for the officers who want to know what's going to happen.
Our chief investigative reporter, Lynn Kawano, joining us in the Digital Center. Thanks so much, Lynn.